I arrived early. My father's voice still echoed in my head. "Come early, we'll celebrate." But the moment I walked into that restaurant, the tone shifted. The waiter handed me a name tag. My eyes caught the words printed in bold, limited guest. Confusion turned tossilence. My sister leaned in, whispering with a smirk sharp enough to cut. "That means no food." And then my mother laughed. A laugh that wasn't joy. It was dismissal, cruel, deliberate. I didn't argue. I didn't flinch. I simply pulled out my phone, typed one sentence, and hit send. Cancel everything immediately. They didn't know what I meant. Not yet, but they would. It wasn't always like this. I was the eldest, the responsible one, the one who stayed when everyone else scattered. I carried their burdens, their secrets, their debts. My father once told me, "You're the backbone of this family." I believed him. I worked double shifts, paid bills that weren't mine, and still came home with a smile. But loyalty has a way of being mistaken for weakness, and weakness invites betrayal. The first cracks appeared last year. Whispers behind closed doors, laughter that stopped when I entered. My sister flaunting gifts I knew she couldn't afford. My mother dressing in things I hadn't seen her buy. My father, the man who asked me for loans and whispers, suddenly taking her and my sister to dinners without inviting me. And then came the ultimate insult. This night, their so-called celebration, I played along for months, quietly watching. I noticed how I was excluded from group photos, how my name was conveniently left off reservations. They'd decided I was expendable, the workhorse, not the guest of honor. But what cut deepest was what I discovered last week. A casual slip from the accountant I hired to audit a joint family investment. The papers told Thestery my parents never would. The ownership I had worked for transferred, my sister's name where mine had been. That was the moment clarity set in. They hadn't just excluded me from meals. They had erased me. I didn't explode. I didn't beg. I didn't even ask why. Instead, I studied every document, every transfer, every lie. They thought I was blind, but I was building a case layer by layer. I knew the weaknesses: unpaid loans, false signatures, unpaid taxes buried under forged receipts. They had built their comfort on my silence. And tonight, when they laughed at me, they reminded me of something important. Silence is a choice. So I chose differently. 30 minutes after my message left my phone, the restaurant staff began whispering. Orders disappeared from trays. The birthday cake that was supposed to roll out never came. My father grew restless. "Where's the food?" he asked. I sat back sipping water, calm, silent, watching. Then the phones began buzzing. First my sister's, then my mother's, finally my father's. One by one, their faces drained of color. The contracts they thought were airtight frozen. Bank accounts flagged. The event company they had prepaid for informed that the payment was under investigation. And the accountant, Theon, they thought they bought, he was mine. Every transfer they'd made was now documented, packaged, and sent to the authorities. The celebration they planned for themselves had just turned into their reckoning. My father looked at me across the table, eyes burning. "What did you do?" I leaned forward, voice steady, cold. "You made me a limited guest in my own family. Tonight you're the same in mine." My sister tried to protest, but her phone buzzed again. Another account frozen. Another lawyer calling back. My mother's laugh had vanished. She stared at me, finally realizing this wasn't a bluff. They had stripped me of my place. I had stripped them of their foundation. The waiter returned, placing a single plate in front of me. "Just me. Compliments of the house," he said. I smiled. I didn't need food. Their hunger was enough. By the end of the night, they weren't celebrating. They were begging, promises, apologies, bargains. They spilled like cheap wine. But I didn't need their words. I didn't need their approval. Walking out, I felt lighter than I ever had. Not because I destroyed them, but because I reclaimed myself. Family is supposed to be a bond. They made it a weapon, and I learned how to turn that weapon back. So now when people ask me what happened that night, I only say this. They taught me what betrayal feels like. I taught them what justice tastes like. And as for the title they gave me, limited guest, I wear it proudly because sometimes being excluded means you finally see who deserves to be left out.